Disclaimer, I am not a lawyer. This is all based on my personal experience
Yes.
and some dude on YouTube. Do your own research, please.
Hi everyone, Emily here.
And Garrett.
Welcome to our video of should we bring a car to Mexico?
Yeah, it's a question that I've seen a lot on different Facebook groups. Obviously, this is going to vary based on your particular situation, but hopefully this video gives you some things to think about. Is it worth it for you to bring a car?
One of the biggest things that you should ask yourself is what your actual intentions are for being in Mexico. For us, we thought about when we're here, we want to go on some weekend trips, which we have. So almost every weekend we go to a market in another city. La Cruz, you know, it's at least a 10 to 15 minute drive. Sayulita is the 20-minute drive. I think we've gone over that there's a lot of cities that we can go to. There are some people who might just want to come and just immerse in the culture and walk everywhere. So that is something for you to think about first.
Well, are you comfortable with public transit? Public transit here is actually pretty good. There is Uber, there's a taxi stand right outside of where we live here, mini buses, larger buses for longer distances. So getting around for most people isn't a problem. One of the immediate yes or no factors that will help you decide is how long are you going to be here for? If you plan on being here for over 4 years and getting permanent residency or citizenship, sell your car, buy one down here. Because you cannot, as a permanent resident or as a Mexican citizen, you cannot have a foreign plated vehicle. There is an importation process. It can be arduous and expensive, and most people simply buy a vehicle here.
We actually were told that a lot, that you could just sell your car and just buy a minivan down here. You know, that's what we drive. And so we thought about that a lot, but again, given the other factors of wanting to bring our stuff, bring our dog, the length of our stay, it didn't make sense to do that for us in this situation.
So for those of you that are going to be here for a shorter time, under 6 months, then it's a fairly simple process.
Something else to think about is, are you comfortable driving in another country? I was incredibly nervous. The first time I did, I gave myself a round of applause. A lot of things are different. The other thing you need to think about is the kind of car that you have, and is it conducive to driving here? There are a lot of potholes and topes in certain areas.
I recommend not bringing your sports car.
Yes, absolutely.
But are you easily able to adapt to other driving cultures? Are you set in your ways, or can you learn? Because every system is different, and if you can adapt to the system here, it's not any better or worse than anything else.
Just a little different. Absolutely. So you do have to get used to that. So you have to be okay and comfortable making those changes and adjustments, and just being really aware of what's going on around you, because it is different.
Another thing to help you determine whether you should bring a car down or not is if you can afford it. Gas prices here tend to be about 20 pesos per liter. So for us in the United States, at the current exchange rate, that turns out to be about $4 a gallon. So it's a little bit pricier than you might be used to.
And also, if you have a loan on your car, you will have to check with the lender to see if you'll have to pay that off. Some lenders do not allow you to take your car out of the country. If you have a loan, go ahead and call your lender and see if it's even an option for you.
One thing to be aware of, because you might be looking at cars down here thinking that they're pretty cheap. You can buy stuff for a really low price. And you can, that stuff is available. You have to be aware that many of those are missing very key safety features that you might be used to. Things like airbags, shatterproof windshields, different crumple zones, safety ratings. The standards are very different here. So while that car might look very tempting, it might not be quite the value that you're used to. Used cars are also an option, but as we mentioned before, with the quality of the roads, the unexpected topes, cars will tend to get beat up as well. So you might want to be very careful when you're considering purchasing a car here. Our reasons for bringing in our car, number one was the kids.
Yes. Having a lot of stuff and not having to just go out and buy every single thing new. When you have kids, you just have a lot. And when you're at home, especially during COVID, you need more for them to have as well. We did a test pack to see really how much we would want to bring.
See our other video for notes on how that went.
Absolutely. It was going to be a struggle for me to have to come here and completely re-buy our entire lives.
So the number one reason that we brought our car was our kids. So we were talking about public transport and how it's plentiful. Yet getting kids on public transport is a little bit different of a ballgame. Every time we would get into a taxi, either they'd be just buckled into a regular seat or we'd have to deal with our car seats every time. Putting them on a bus, mini buses, it was, with a 2 and a 4-year-old. Now, as the kids get older, maybe that's a little bit different, but at least at this age, and for the safety that we wanted for our kids, the safety, the convenience, it was worth it for us.
Absolutely. Being able to go on a road trip and have them fall asleep in their car seat on the way home, things like that, you can plan a little bit better when you have your own vehicle.
The number 2 reason why we brought our own car was getting not just the stuff down here for the kids, but the dog as well. Our dog happens to be about 70, 75 pounds, about 30 or so kilos. So a good sized dog. Putting that into a plane, can't get it into the passenger compartment, so we'd have to have a large crate. Of course, during COVID, there's all kinds of problems associated with that, so it's just much easier. Put her in the car with the kids' toys, with me, and just all come down together. Same thing when we're driving around, if we want to go anywhere with her. Again, taking a dog on public transit,
not as easy, possibly. Yeah.
we haven't tried it.
So we don't know.
I mean, if you can bring a chicken on a bus, maybe you can bring a dog just as easily,
Yeah.
but we just didn't want to deal with that.
One of the big reasons that we also decided to bring our car was the length of our stay. We were planning on staying a year to a year and a half when we decided to come down. And so knowing that we were going to be here for that extended amount of time, we knew that lent itself to a lot more excursions. So had we possibly done a shorter stay, maybe we would have rented a car for excursions. So we are super happy with our decision to have brought our car. Garrett was able to drive down here relatively smoothly, brought the dog, brought all of our necessities, and we have gone on a lot of great adventures.
Make sure you hit that subscribe button to get notified when we make a future video going more into depth on how to bring a car to Mexico, various details like the temporary import permit, visa requirements to get various permits.
How his drive went, all those details.
Hope this was helpful for you. See you next time.
Adios.
So make sure you hit that subscribe button so you get notified of future videos where we'll talk more in...
You are terrible today. Okay, try that one more time.